Space, the final frontier. Join us for a bold conversation. Our prime directive? To recap our favorite Star Trek shows, both new and old. To engage in debate about all things Trek. Prepare to energize with phasers set to stun.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Phasers Set to Stun. In this ongoing series from a Film by Podcast, we continue to show our love for every quadrant of the expanding Star Trek universe by covering television, animation, movies, directors, merchandise, and much more. Plotting the course as always is your core Trek crew. I'm Scott Hoffman.
I'm David Burns.
And I'm Wayne Whited.
And in this episode, we're continuing our coverage of the freshest Trek available with Strange New Worlds, Season 3. Specifically, we're going to be covering Episode 3, Shuttle to Kenfori. Since it's so new, we're calling for a red alert on spoilers. So if you haven't seen this episode, please go watch and come back to join us when you're all wrapped up. I just want to take a moment to thank both of you, Dave and Wayne, for covering for me while I was on those away missions, those lengthy away missions, looking for weird plants on other planets.
Well, we're glad you made it back. So
yeah, I'm glad to be
shuttle
back with
found
the crew. I know, eventually. I'm also excited to just get back into Strange New Worlds after that long 2-year hiatus between seasons. I cannot believe it's been that long.
It is, I know.
We have covered so much in the meantime. Like we did Drawn into Lower Decks after the last season.
Yeah, 2 whole seasons of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I think it's safe to say it's well worth the wait.
It was.
I know you both agree.
Yep.
All right, well, let's get right into it and break it down. Dave, why don't you give us a summary of what this episode is all about?
In searching for a cure for Batel, Pike learns that a plant known as the Chimera Blossom can help, but a decision must be made that will send them to Kenfori, a planet in the restricted zone that was agreed upon by the Klingons and the Federation after the war between them ended. Pike puts together a small away team with just himself and Dr. Mbenga. They take a shuttle into the restricted zone and onto Kenfori, where they quickly become trapped by Klingons and what can only be described as zombies. Pike and Mbenga will fight to survive, and the truth will finally reveal itself, while the crew on the Enterprise does whatever it can to save the 2 crew members. This episode begins to unravel some friendships and shake the crew to its very core that will change them, possibly forever.
That hits the nail on the head. This is definitely... I don't know that they've used the Z word very much in Star Trek.
Not in Star Trek.
Nope.
So, Wayne, I'll defer to you. First reactions to the first time we have zombies in Star Trek.
Well, I mean, it's interesting, and I'm glad that they did something. So, they've been trying a lot of new stuff, and this is definitely new to Star Trek. I think they did touch a little bit. There was an episode of Enterprise, I don't remember the name of it, but where they did something similar, but they never said the word zombie, and never went as full force as they did in this episode. I liked it. I really, really liked the episode. I think you guys probably liked it more than I do because you know how I am with horror films, But I love the episode. It's probably my I don't want to say least favorite, but because I really liked the first 2 too. It was a good episode. It was a very good episode. I liked it because of Mbenga and his storyline and his advancement of that storyline.
Dave, what about you? First reactions?
Yeah, so we talked about the recap that I was wondering how long it was going to take them to get to clearing up the Under the Cloak of War episode, and here we are. I thought it was brilliant. I absolutely loved this episode, and it's my favorite one of the season so far. And my hat is off to the writers because I see what they did here.
Yeah.
They matched Train to Busan which is a zombie movie, and it's a nod to Kenfori from Dawn of the Dead. Well done, writers. Well done.
I'm so glad you called back to that 78 Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, I didn't get that connection until I was looking it up, and I was like, oh my god, that's Peter from Dawn of the Dead, right?
Yeah.
That's an awesome Easter egg
Perfect.
in there.
Perfect.
Yeah, this episode does so many different things really, really well. I feel like it keeps the show approachable because you've got this kind of cadence of the episodes where it goes from light to heavy, right? It doesn't take you on one track or the other too much. It still does a great job of spreading the love around to different characters because we're not necessarily focusing on any one or the other more than kind of in an unbalanced way. And we've got so many characters to build on. They always kind of keep it fresh in that way. Um, they're also just doing a great job of evolving species that we are being introduced to, but then ones that we thought we were pretty familiar with, like the Gorn. They're evolving this species in such an amazing way. I just can't believe they're able to do it this fast without it feeling rushed.
Yeah, what amazes me is how they can continue to just give us more character development in each episode. You would think that they would, run dry with that, but they don't. I mean, we keep going and going with these characters. There is so much to unpack in this episode. I mean, yeah, it's a pretty action-packed film, with Star Trek zombies, for crying out loud. I literally jumped up when I saw that. I said, "Oh my God, we got zombies!" But we get Eric Ortegas, who's clearly going through something bad, PTSD that's really starting to affect her job, what she does on the Enterprise. We've got Mbenga and Pike's relationship here, which pretty much seems to be okay by the end of this episode. But then you've got Spock, who I guess sees through the eyes of a Gorn, or a Gorn sees through Spock's eyes.
That was very
which is a little crazy in itself. And then, of course, poor Batel is just, man, she is just going through hell and back right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems like she's going through physical and mental anguish from whatever has happened with this. I thought it was kind of interesting, like right before Spock goes into his Gorn vision and beats up a poor ensign.
Yeah.
They have that kind of shared vision between them of a type of Gorn we haven't seen yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a feeling that might be where Patel's character is going.
I think so.
Yeah, that's what I felt.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see that. I don't want it to happen. I don't want this Patel human Gorn hybrid, although I guess it starts to make sense when we're kind of getting to what we saw in the original series, where it was this, humanoid lizard person wearing like a Flintstones costume or something. Hopefully we didn't get there, but anyway, very, very interesting. And I think, to your point, we're seeing so much character development with hints of kind of getting into the effects of war on someone, like PTSD, like with Ortegas. You're absolutely right. She's got some lingering effects of what has happened to her just this season, but we're also seeing some great callbacks to earlier development, like when we were in the I forget the name of the episode, but the where Pike was seeing the alternate timeline where he was the captain when they first encountered the Romulans, not Kirk.
Yep.
I think there's notes of that Ortegas that we're seeing here, right? And her history with the Klingon War and how that kind of affects her judgment and her decisions. Mbenga has an amazing arc, amazing development in this one, dealing with similar kind of things, but in a very different path. I feel like they just knocked it out of the park.
I think we all are going to agree on this one about Mbenga really stole the show in this episode.
Oh yeah.
This episode shows how complex his character is, and he is written brilliantly. Every time he shows up, but this episode just made him shine. I mean, you could see the anger in him that he knows he's the assassin, for crying out loud, and he's not hiding that fact anymore. But he keeps it at bay. Obviously, is what he says. He only comes out when it's needed, and he obviously didn't need it that day when he was fighting her, which is why he didn't kill her. But God dang, is his character brilliant?
Yeah, the way he's portrayed, the way he's written, cover to cover. I mean, they're doing a great job of giving doctors such amazing roles in this franchise, let alone in this series, and I'm really glad to see it.
Yep.
I was also very impressed. There were a lot of times when it hit me how much we're getting feature length or feature, how do I want to say it, like movie quality,
cinematic quality,
writing,
yes,
cinematography, special effects, score, all the way around. Like we're getting big, I noticed kind of like broader, more sweeping shots of the bridge.
Yep.
And when they get into horror, they're not playing it cheap. You can definitely see how much this has evolved from even just prior iterations of Trek. It's making light light year jumps ahead in quality, which is
Well,
good to see.
even in watching this episode, the sets are gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, on the planet of Kenfori and the research station there, everything just looks beautiful. I mean, you're right. I mean, you can tell they're spending the money on this show, and they're not holding back. You're seeing it on screen, every penny.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this last episode that, this is the result of us getting lesser seasons. 10 episodes is that we can get these incredible cinematic episodes that just like this one. I love the idea that they're exploring different genres. More than just the let's go to a planet, oh there's an alien type that we usually saw with Star Trek. All these different, here we got the horror, we have comedy, we have sci-fi. It's incredible how the writers are bringing all these different styles to Star Trek. I think that's my favorite thing about this series.
And it certainly doesn't seem like, I mean, the sets are so ornate and gorgeous. I can't imagine mothballing it after a year.
Right.
Like there's got to be future in Trek with the quality and the scale of sets they have here. I know we just recently saw a trailer for Starfleet Academy.
Oh yeah.
And it looks like it's going in great directions, but let's
good.
Let's pay attention to the fact that we built this amazing enterprise and maybe, come back here as soon as we can.
Exactly.
I don't think they're going to be destroying these sets, especially the bridge. I think they're going to put this in stories because I don't think this is going to be the end of our adventures with the Enterprise.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we're going to see some of our original crew members that take over this ship at the end of this series, as you know who I'm talking about. I think we're going to see those actors taking on those roles. Maybe not in seasons, but I think we're going to see some specials with them. I really do.
Some streaming movies, kind of like what they did with Section 31. I could see that happening.
That would be amazing.
Yep.
I also wanted to just kind of touch on something that you had talked about last time, but I just wanted to mention the opening for this series, for this season, because it's directly relevant to what we're seeing here with the Klingons. I thought it was very interesting to see. Is it a battle cruiser that kind of raises up in the opening sequence?
Yep.
But I saw so many notes or so many hints of Lower Decks in there. Not that the comedic nature of it and things like that, obviously, but the quality and the use of animation for that opening blows me away, and it looks beautiful. So I hope that's kind of a stepping stone to saying there's going to be more animation in Trek's future, because I think that helps with a lot of different production issues, aside from the fact that you can get a lot of stories out of it. But we'll see where it goes.
We can only hope.
We can only hope.
Yeah. Did you guys notice some very humorous lines from Pike in this episode? I'm telling you, there were some lines that he had me rolling. First off, the whole zombie thing, as he hesitated to call them zombies.
Yeah. Right.
And then when Mbinga gives the definition of it, he goes, that sounds like the Z word, which was great. And then he followed up later when the Klingons capture them, and he goes, at least you're not trying to eat us.
Yeah.
And then the one that really got me, that I lost it, was when he asks, we need weapons, and she goes there and stabs him in the leg, and he falls. He goes, I walked right into that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had some great lines in this episode.
I love Captain Pike. I mean, it's a joy to watch him anytime he's on screen. But yeah, when they give him good lines like that, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some other favorite moments from this episode. I know there's a ton, but Wayne, what are some that stood out to you?
My favorite part of the episode was actually way at the end, when Ortegas is brought up in front of number one and scolded. I mean, I got such unusual feeling about this storyline. I had mentioned that I think we're now starting to come into the season storyline. And after watching this episode, I'm even more certain that we are now starting to get elements of where this season is heading for. And not just, this character's doing this character's doing that. I think there's going to be some great consequences for some of these characters. And I think Ortegas is not going to come out of this looking good at the end of the season. That's my prediction. Especially after that scene, but I just absolutely love the scene because I like the character of Una, of number one, and sometimes in some of the episodes she can be sorely underused, and because Rebecca Remain's such a great actress, and she got so much great stuff to do this episode, and that scene just was incredible with the two of them. I love that bit.
They're definitely foreshadowing something.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
when she's getting ready to leave, she tells her, this can't happen again. You could just feel how ominous that was, that something bad is coming. And it's going to cost Erica something. You know it is. And it's
That's
not just
how
the
I
2
feel.
weeks she got. Something big is coming, for sure.
That's exactly how I feel. And the more this series goes along, I know we're only not even quite halfway through this series. I don't think all these characters are going to make it well. I mean, by the end of the series, and my eye is right now on her.
Yeah, I agree.
I kind of hope that, even though it does feel like it's inevitable that something's going to happen, that it will, cost her her seat on the bridge. I'm hoping that it carries out through the end of the season, at least, if not the end of the series, because I think just having a character have some conflict on the bridge, I think we've seen it in the past with Worf on Next Generation. We've seen it played out to great effect on DS9 with Nerys. Characters that don't always necessarily agree with command, and that kind of decision point when they have to decide, am I going to take this action that I think is right, because in some cases that's kind of encouraged, or am I going to just follow orders? And the tension there is, I think, what makes the dynamic kind of thrive on the bridge, even though there are times when she's exactly right. Like, I can't have you taking actions that I don't know about, because it's not only compromising my command, but it's also putting me in a position where I don't know what to expect. And that can't really happen. It was very interesting, her emotional response to that too, as she was going out, as she was walking out, it kind of felt like, oh man, I was kind of expecting this would happen, but maybe she didn't think that it would actually happen, or that she was kind of anticipating it and maybe kind of regretting it. But I don't know, the acting and the dynamics between the two of them was amazing.
Well, I'm glad they went that direction, though, because, I was worried that, she was going to disobey the orders and the ship would be saved and everybody be patting her on her back, that whole old cliche that you see. This really shows yes, she saved the ship, but she did it the wrong way and she disobeyed orders, and you cannot do that in Starfleet. There are consequences. And like I said, I really think that we're going to see more of that and more happen to her as the season progresses.
Yeah. I think the other, obviously the other conflict that we had that would kind of bubble up from time to time was between Pike and Mbenga. Specifically around Patel's decision to go ahead with a very risky procedure that basically leans into whatever's happening that could kind of hybridize her with Gorn.
Yeah.
And Pike saying, like, how could you do that, and how could you withhold that information from me? But Mbenga has a responsibility to kind of guard her privacy, and not just on the face value of saying we have to protect her privacy, but there are reasons for doing so, and he was doing them for the right reasons. But then also interesting because he's the captain of the ship where these things are happening, and he's in a very serious relationship with her. So then it seems like he has a right to know. It's a lot of interesting dichotomy with that they allowed to play out, and I think it just kind of strengthens or deepens the relationship between those characters, knowing that they're laughing on the shuttle about times that they've had in the past. So they've clearly got a pretty established friendship, but this is something that could get very, very could interfere with that friendship, I think, in a couple of different ways.
Well, Pike's got to be careful too, because that's starting to affect him and his decisions. And that's going to fracture that between him and Patel. Because, the decisions he made in this episode, probably not the smartest decision as a captain of an Enterprise. Right. He's doing it for one person, and, we know where that's going to go. we could probably quote Spock on that one, but we won't because it's said so many times. But you can definitely see his decision making, even though they got out of this one. It's still, you're putting a lot of people into areas that could get them killed, and that's not a good way to go for a captain. But I like the fracture of all the characters that we're starting to see, because that adds so much to these stories and these characters that makes it feel real and pulls you into it. Kind of like what Wayne mentioned. It's not all, hey, everybody's happy, let's pat each other on the back, No, we're seeing real humans on a starship who have faults. And we're seeing that, and it makes great storytelling.
Yeah. It makes me want to go back and watch Under the Cloak of War all over again, because that was such a powerful episode. And seeing how that encounter with General Doc Ra, is it?
Yeah, Doc Ra.
Still weighs on him. And a great use of his, his daughter, Bytha, who got into the blood fight with him in the middle of a zombie arena. Right.
Can we do this somewhere else, please?
And
it was
with the Klingons too. Did you guys get some very serious Star Trek 6 vibes?
Oh yes.
With all of this. I felt all the way through. Plus the fact that the music was very, very reminiscent of Cliff Idleman's music from that. I mean, it was obvious that she was trying to imitate Idleman's style. So which I love that. I mean, that's one of our favorite films.
Yeah.
I mean, they're knocking it out of the park on all angles. They really are.
Yeah. Well, and even the end of the fight, the fact that you can see the rage in his eyes, and that he's like a hair away from, ending the battle and killing her, but he holds back, and it takes him, like, he has to kind of push away from her as he's doing that, as he's standing up to, like you said, Dave, kind of keep the monster at bay. You can see that he's struggling with that a lot, especially because he sees that there's utility of keeping that monster around. But the way that she reacts to it, what she does next, blew me away. So she stands up, she undoes her sash in this badass Castlevania style chain whip comes out. And her line where she says, "Choke on me, you filthy targs."
Yeah.
Like, oh, that was so cool. It was totally unexpected. Like, it came out of nowhere, but it was totally worth it. I'm glad they went there.
Me too. Boy, they didn't hold back on the gore either, did they?
Nope.
Usually Star Trek doesn't show that stuff, but they didn't care. I mean, she smashed a head. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Star Trek, where are we going? I love it.
Well, and when Pike gets his one kill and puts the blade through the back of the head, through the mouth, but it splatters on the camera.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's funny moment right there.
Exactly.
I says, "Are we keeping score?"
Right. It reminded me of the kind of Lord of the Rings kind of thing. Like, that was just one.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to say about the score, Wayne? You mentioned that a little bit.
I mean, I love her music for this series. I always have. It's a great score. Like I said, it was very reminiscent of Cliff Idleman's. The only thing I got to add is I hope, if she continues producing scores like this, I hope she's at least nominated for an Emmy Award, because she deserves it.
I agree.
Yeah,
absolutely, she does.
Well, there's a lot of interesting directions where we could go with Ortegas, with Mbenga, with Patel. Any predictions that you have, starting with Patel? What do you think they're going to do with her?
I think she's going to die.
Yeah,
I still do.
Yeah. So not survive the procedure, or do you think we're going to see some kind of human Gorn hybrid kind of attempt?
It's the way they're showing it. It's hard to call it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it could go either way, to be honest with you. I think somehow she's going to become some kind of a hybrid, and maybe not get killed, but go off somewhere as this hybrid, because she has to get away. Otherwise, she's going to become a threat to the Enterprise.
Well, yeah, that's my thought too. But it could also go the other way, that they are forced to kill her.
Yeah, it could go
in order to save the crew. Yeah.
She's not going to make it no matter what. One of the scenarios is happening. Her character is going to leave. It has to.
Yeah. Which is kind of a tragic end to that relationship, and an unexpectedly tragic end to it, because we always thought it would be what happens with Pike, but we at least thought that maybe they'd get enough of a relationship until that day happens. But we'll have to kind of see. it's also interesting how much they're diving into the Gorn. Like in the Hegemony Part 2, you saw those kind of digestive sacs, which is really disturbing.
Yeah.
And that kind of that other type of Gorn that we saw in that Spock vision makes me think that we're going to see maybe like a Gorn Queen or some other kind of hint at their infrastructure and how all that kind of thing works. It's just going to make it more interesting series to watch. All right. Well, I think we've already said which crew member shined the most.
Yeah, I think we can all get
Right?
Definitely.
It's
That's
the Minga, no doubt about it.
Yeah, no
pretty
doubt.
easy to see.
Yep.
What was your favorite Mbenga moment, Wayne?
I liked the banter with Pike, especially on the shuttle, and when they get onto the planet. You don't see that too much with the captain because he's the captain. He can joke around a little bit, but not really friend to friend conversation. I like that. They're a good twofer. It's a two-part act there. I really like that. That would be my favorite moment. Just the dialogue was written so well for him this episode.
Yeah. Dave, what about you?
There's so many good moments, but I have to go to the reveal that he assassinated Doc Ra. That whole speech he gives right there, you could just see the anger in his eyes and his face, but he also realizes he has to keep that at bay, and he knows that he's allowing this secret out to Pike, who's right there. So he knows he has this deep friend in Pike, and he's got to finally let it out and let Pike realize that was not an accident. He assassinated Doc Ra. And I like how that kind of wrapped itself up at the end, where they had that talk again. I think the line was before that where they were going on that mission, and he said, we're not. I'm not a captain. I'm as a friend right now. When he was talking about Patel, remember when they're on there, and then Mbenga used that again at the end of the episode. I'm not talking to you as a captain. I'm talking to you as a friend right now. So I liked how that wrapped it back to that conversation between the two of them. So there's just so much there, but their development between those two of them was fantastic in this episode.
I think it's something that we've seen from the beginning of Trek, where there's a close personal relationship that's developed with the medical crew, which is a great call because that gives you so many dramatic possibilities. And yeah, I think they use it to great effect here. You could see with Mbenga when he's first kind of confronted by Baitha, and it's kind of revealed who she is, and that this Doc Ra person is coming back to haunt him yet again. She tosses that kind of sigil to him for him to kind of consider for a moment, and then he slams it on the ground as hard as he can. And it just seems like he's tired of this thing continuing to haunt him. He is angry at the monster inside him that's kind of creating this situation that's coming back to haunt him again. And he's probably resenting to a certain degree how much this monster has to keep getting pulled out. That he's like, I don't want this. Like in Under the Cloak of War, they did an amazing job of him kind of trying to keep that at bay as much as possible until Doc Ra kind of pulled it out. I thought there was a badass line that he had there that I don't know if I'm going to quote it perfectly because I couldn't write it down fast enough, but the gist of it is she's trying to say, do you not recognize the eyes that are looking back at you? And he said, I've killed too many Klingons from too many houses to know which one you belong to.
Yep.
Oh my God. If that's not a big slap in the face to Baitha as she's standing there with a knife like, I'm getting ready to kill you. And he's like, yeah, I've seen that before. It's just incredible character development. And I've got to give, hats off to Babs, the actor who portrays him. It's a showcase of his skills, and it's definitely he wins the episode here. I know we always get into Easter eggs. I know there's probably a lot that we've already talked about, obviously with Kenfori. Wayne, were there any others that you caught that stood out?
Very few. There was a lot of story to cover here, but I was able to pull out three small ones. The Klingon ship that destroyed Pike and Mbenga's shuttle at the beginning of the episode is a design that we haven't seen since the first season of Star Trek Discovery, back when they were redesigning the Klingons. Also, the Klingons use an updated version of their tricorder that we had originally seen in Star Trek 3 as well as Deep Space Nine. And then probably the one that the most obvious one is the Viridium tracker that Mabinka swallowed. If you remember, Viridium trackers is what was stuck on Kirk's back in Star Trek 6: The Undiscovered Country.
Yep. I didn't know what she was talking about with like the grapes that he ate. I didn't know when that had happened. If that was like a callback to an episode or just a random.
Apparently, what I was told, I thought was it happened at the party from last episode at the end.
Interesting.
Can I just say I want to throw out that Martin Quinn is fantastic as Scotty.
Oh my God!
We're really starting to see him shine, and he's starting to show his magic with the transporter and engineering.
Yeah.
He's so good.
We're definitely get hints at Scotty's future. I thought it was interesting when he had that line about like, "Oh, I'm not much of a drinker," and it was kind of like,
yeah, you are.
Where's that gonna go?
Not yet, maybe.
But yeah, and the dynamic there in engineering is fantastic. Yeah.
Where the hell is Pelia? Where the hell was Pelia in this entire thing? Okay, I get the whole thing of not going to the meeting because she hates them, like Una said. But we're crying out loud.
Yeah.
You're fighting Klingons. Where are you?
Yep. She's doing everything else. Well, he's dealing with all that.
Scotty's doing all the work now. She's just going to hang back. You do all the work.
Exactly. All right. Any other standout moments you wanted to call out?
I want to mention one thing that seems to be the one and only thing that everybody's talking about on social media, and that is number one's hair.
For God's sake.
What were your opinion of it? I'll tell you mine. I hated that hairstyle. If we were going to do that, which character do you want to be? I wanted to be number one so I could change her hairstyle.
So I did not like it, but I know why they did it.
Yeah, there was a reason.
Because of the losing gravity. They didn't want all the females' hairs to be floating or have to do that with CGI. So if you notice, all the females who had long hair, they're all knotted up.
Yeah.
It still looks horrible on her. I'm going to say it. I just didn't like that at all.
I didn't either. I'm with you. I thought it was, no. Change the hair right now, lady. It does not look good at all.
It was definitely new. It kind of gave me Leia on Hoth vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Like the way it was kind of styled.
That's good.
Right. I don't know. I kind of got the sense that it was like, in terms of the writing, like, if she's in the captain's chair and she has to, I don't know if it's like battle ready, hair or something like that. But it was definitely interesting. I was like, it's definitely something that caught my attention a lot. And I was like, I don't know what to do with that. But
it reminded me of the whole, remember Voyager, Captain Janeway's hair, we had half the season where it was pinned up and the other half of the season where it was down. And I mean, which one did you prefer? I always preferred the hair down.
The hair down.
Yeah. We'll talk about that when we cover Voyager. I can honestly say I've not watched enough of Voyager to have an opinion on it, but yeah.
You're going to agree with this. It's hair down.
Yeah, definitely.
You will agree with us. All right. Well, I'm glad to say we'll be back next week for another episode, and I can't wait to see where that goes. And listeners, we hope you'll come back to join us. Dave, Wayne, always a pleasure. Thanks for coming on and talking with us and leaving a seat open on the bridge for me.
No, good to have you back.
Good to have you back.
Listeners, just remember hailing frequencies are always open for you to share your thoughts and questions on Facebook, Instagram, and your favorite social channels. You can find us online at afilmbypodcast.com, where you can see articles and episodes streamed for free. You can email us at afilmbypodcast@gmail.com. And if you're looking for more exclusive content and swag, send some Latin our way through Patreon. We'll see you next time for another episode of Phasers Set to Stun.